everyone! Have you ever felt like your English is pretty good, but not quite where you want it to be? Maybe you understand almost everything, but expressing your ideas clearly and confidently still feels tricky. Or maybe you know a lot of words, but aren't sure how to use them naturally in real conversations. If that sounds familiar, stay with me. Today, we're going to help you move from strong English to truly fluent English. We'll focus on realistic conversations, everyday expressions, natural phrasing, subtle grammar, useful vocabulary, and thinking strategies that make your English sound smooth and instinctive. Everything we cover is based on real-life communication, not textbooks. At the C1 level, you already handle the basics. You can participate in discussions and follow conversations. The real challenge now is refinement, sounding natural, flexible, and confident. A big part of this is how you think in English, not just the words you use. Real-time reactions. Native speakers often use small phrases to respond naturally, buy time, and show thoughtfulness. Examples: I see what you mean, that's an interesting angle, or let me think that through. These phrases make your speech feel steady and mature. Natural complexity. Advanced English isn't about using the longest or most difficult words. It's about choosing words that fit the situation. For example, instead of "this issue is exceedingly intricate," say "this is pretty complicated." Clear English often sounds more advanced than forced complicated language. Real-life scenarios. Let's look at a common situation, deciding whether to accept a job offer. Person A: I got the offer, but I'm torn. The job sounds great, but the workload seems intense. Person B: what's holding you back most, the schedule or responsibilities? Person A: probably the schedule. I want to avoid burnout, but the company's values really appeal to me. Person B: it's one of those trade-offs. Maybe think about which choice brings you closer to your long-term goals. Notice how natural expressions like "I'm torn," "holding you back," and trade-offs make the conversation feel real. Thinking on your feet. In meetings or sudden questions, you need phrases that give you time to think while sounding confident. Good question. Let me think out loud for a second. My first reaction is positive, but I'd like to check the details. Off the top of my head, I think it could work, but I need more info. Vocabulary and context. Instead of learning words alone, learn them in groups and situations. For example, when making decisions, use expressions like "weigh your options," "second guess yourself," "look at the bigger picture," "trust your gut," "lean towards something." These expressions appear naturally in daily conversations and make your English sound fluent and human. By practicing these tips, you'll start thinking in English, responding naturally, and speaking with confidence. That's the real step from advanced to truly fluent English. Person B: what's making you second-guess yourself? Person A: well, part of me wants to play it safe, but another part feels like I should take the chance. Person B: right? Think about the bigger picture 5 years from now. Which choice would make you happier? Person A: I'm leaning toward moving, but I still have mixed feelings. Notice how the vocabulary blends smoothly. Second guess yourself, play it safe, take the chance, bigger picture, and mixed feelings. This is natural C1 English, realistic and expressive, not stiff or complicated. Fluency through rhythm. Fluency isn't just about speaking fast, it's about rhythm, clarity, and connecting words naturally. Native speakers speak in chunks, not word by word. Examples. I mean, if you think about it, most of our daily decisions aren't actually about right or wrong. They're more about what fits our priorities at that moment. It kind of depends on what you're hoping to get out of the experience. Shadowing these phrases helps you master natural speech patterns. Practice. I see what you're saying. That makes sense. Let me think this through. I'm not convinced yet, but I'm open to it. Subtle grammar for precision. At the C1 level, grammar is about subtlety, not memorizing rules. Softening language makes you sound thoughtful, not blunt. Direct, I don't like your idea. Natural, I see the intention behind it, but I have a few concerns. Hedging, express uncertainty politely. It seems like it might be worth considering. I'm not entirely sure, but from what I can tell. Mixed conditionals, talk about imaginary situations linking past and present. If I had taken that job, I'd be living in Spain now. If I were more patient, I wouldn't have reacted that way yesterday. These structures let you tell richer, more thoughtful stories. Real-life conversations. Scenario: deciding whether to confront a friend. Person A: I've been debating whether I should say something to Daniel. He's been distant lately. Person B: if you were in his shoes, would you want someone to check in? Person A: yes, but I don't want to seem pushy. Person B: you could gently ask, hey, is everything okay? I've noticed you seem a bit off. Natural phrases: I've been debating, come across as pushy, seem a bit off, might be worth bringing up. Not textbook, but fully native-like. Cultural nuance and subtext. At C1, understanding English isn't just about words, it's about what's unsaid. Tone, pace, and emphasis often carry the real meaning. Examples: I'm not sure I can commit to that. Could mean, I don't want to do this, I'm overwhelmed, or I need more info. That's interesting. Could mean, I disagree, I'm confused, or I'm genuinely curious. We should catch up sometime. Could mean, let's actually meet, or I'm just being polite. Being aware of subtext makes your communication more natural, accurate, and empathetic. Polite disagreement. Advanced speakers know how to disagree without being confrontational. I see where you're coming from, but I'm not fully convinced. That's an interesting take, though I see it differently. I get your logic, but here's another angle. Example conversation. Person A: we should launch the project earlier. Waiting feels like a waste of momentum. Person B: I see your point, but I'm hesitant about rushing testing. Person A: fair enough, I'm just worried about missing the window. Person B: totally understandable. Maybe we can compromise. Launch a teaser now, full release next month. Notice the natural flow. I see what you mean. I'm hesitant. Fair enough. Totally understandable. That's authentic C1 English in action. High-level English in real life. Fair point. Totally understandable. Maybe we can compromise. These are natural phrases that make conversations flow smoothly at a high level. Segment 12. Building a natural C1 mindset. Speaking naturally is more about thinking naturally than memorizing words. 3 mindset shifts can transform your English. Stop aiming for perfection. Aim for clarity. Perfect grammar doesn't guarantee good communication, but clear, structured speech does. Phrases like, let me break it down, or here's the main idea, help you stay calm and logical. Embrace flexibility. Adjust your tone depending on the situation, formal at work, casual with friends, neutral in mixed groups, warm in personal conversations. English is a set of tools. Pick the right one. Focus on intention, not memorization. Ask yourself, what am I trying to communicate right now? Do you want to reassure someone, shout out, or add emphasis? Once you know your goal, your words come naturally. Segment 13. Meaningful small talk. Small talk isn't shallow, it's a tool to bond, check the mood, and create comfort. Example: Person A: hey, you look tired today. Long night? Person B: yeah, couldn't sleep. My mind was everywhere. Person A: I get that. Anything stressing you out? Person B: just juggling too much. Person A: that's rough. Let me know if you want to talk through anything. Notice the simple, natural phrases. Long night. My mind was everywhere. Anything stressing you out? That's rough. Segment 14. Listening for emotion. At C1, it's not just about words, It's about tone, pauses, and emphasis. It's fine, calm tone, really fine. It's fine, sharp tone, not fine, but I don't want to argue. It's fine, tired tone, I've given up caring. Advanced listening means understanding people, not just language. Segment 15, Real-World Conversation. Scenario: balancing personal goals with family expectations. Person A: my parents want me to move back home. It feels like a step backward. Person B: it's tough when their intentions are good, but it doesn't match what you want. Person A: I've built independence here. I don't want to lose momentum. Person B: you could explain your reasoning without rejecting their help. Person A: like, I appreciate your concern, but I need to keep building my own path. Person B: exactly. Honest, but not harsh. Phrases like, I don't want to lose momentum, I feel guilty, and honest, but not harsh, show mature, natural English. Segment 16, Emotional Vocabulary. Advanced English expresses emotions accurately and naturally. I'm a bit overwhelmed lately. I'm not at my best right now. I feel stuck. I'm genuinely excited about this. I'm relieved, to be honest. I'm frustrated, but I'll figure it out. Example: Person A: you seem a little off today. Person B: yeah, I'm overwhelmed. Too much at once. Person A: want to talk about it? Person B: not sure yet. Just trying to get my head straight. Simple words, strong meaning. Segment 17, Cultural Awareness. English speakers often show support indirectly, without giving direct advice. Phrases: I'm here if you need anything. Let me know how I can help. Take your time. No pressure. I totally get why you'd feel that way. You handled that well. Example: Person A: my presentation didn't go well. I froze halfway. Person B: that sounds rough, but you handled it better than you think. This style combines acknowledgement with reassurance, very natural in English-speaking cultures. Segment 18, Advanced Grammar and Context. Inversion for emphasis. Never have I felt that overwhelmed during a meeting. Rarely do we get a chance like this. Indirect questions. Polite alternatives. Could I ask what's been bothering you, instead of why are you upset? Non-defining relative clauses. My coworker Sarah, who's usually calm, completely panicked yesterday. The restaurant, which we tried last month, just closed down. These structures are common in fluent, educated English. Segment 19, Real-World Workplace Dialogue. Scenario: dealing with unclear instructions. Person A: I'm confused about what the manager wants. Instructions were all over the place. Person B: same here. I asked for clarity, but the answer was still vague. Person A: I don't want to mess this up. If I'd known the priorities earlier, I wouldn't be scrambling now. This dialogue shows natural C1 English for professional settings. Phrases like all over the place, asked for clarity, and scrambling now make it sound realistic and fluent. Professional dialogue. Person B: I get that. Maybe we should email her a quick summary to make sure we're aligned. Person A: good idea. Something like, just to confirm, here's what we're planning to do. Person B: exactly. Clear and simple. Notice phrases like all over the place, asking for clarity, I wouldn't be scrambling now, and just to confirm, make sure we're aligned. These are extremely common in professional English. Segment 20, Mental Frameworks for Speaking Confidently. Effortless fluency needs mental frameworks, not just vocabulary. Pause-think method. Native speakers pause to organize thoughts. Silence isn't a mistake, it's clarity. Examples. Let me think for a moment. Let me process that. Give me a second to consider it. What I mean is strategy. Use this to clarify or reset your point when stuck. What I mean is, the main point I'm trying to make is, emotion plus reason formula. Express feelings naturally. I'm excited because. I'm worried because. I'm unsure because. Segment 21. Advanced listening. Tone. Tone changes meaning dramatically. Consider. I'll think about it. Calm maybe. I'll think about it. Slightly annoyed probably not. I'll think about it. Warm genuinely need time to decide. C1 mastery means catching nuance in tone, not just words. Segment 22. Complex adult topics. At C1, you should discuss career, life transitions, long-term goals, fears, and pressures naturally. Example, career change. Person A. I've been thinking about switching careers, but it terrifies me. I've been in the same field almost a decade. Person B. That's huge. What's pushing you toward the change? Person A. I feel stuck. The work doesn't challenge me anymore, and I'm disconnected. Person B. Makes sense. Staying in a draining job isn't risk-free either. The main point I'm trying to make is emotion plus reason formula. Express feelings naturally. I'm excited because. I'm worried because. I'm unsure because. Segment 21. Advanced listening. Tone. Tone changes meaning dramatically. Consider. I'll think about it. Calm maybe. I'll think about it. Slightly annoyed probably not. I'll think about it. Warm genuinely need time to decide. C1 mastery means catching nuance in tone, not just words. Segment 22. Complex adult topics. At C1, you should discuss career, life transitions, long-term goals, fears, and pressures naturally. Example, career change. Person A. I've been thinking about switching careers, but it terrifies me. I've been in the same field almost a decade. Person B. That's huge. What's pushing you toward the change? Person A. I feel stuck. The work doesn't challenge me anymore, and I'm disconnected. Person B. Makes sense. Staying in a draining job isn't risk-free either. Key phrases. I feel stuck. Starting to feel disconnected. It's not risk-free either. These show honesty, reflection, and emotion. Segment 23. Identifying uncertainty. English speakers rarely say, I don't know, directly. Common phrases for uncertainty. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't decided. I'm going back and forth on it. It's still up in the air. Part of me thinks yes, but part isn't convinced. Example, Person A. So, are you taking the job? Person B. It's still up in the air. I'm weighing a few things. Person A. What's holding you back? Person B. Honestly, I don't know if the timing is right. I'm not entirely sure I'm ready for that responsibility. Nuance is woven into the phrasing, not stated bluntly. Segment 24. Organizing thoughts. Clear communication beats complex vocabulary. Useful structures. First of all, start a structured idea. What I'm trying to say is clarify. Another thing to keep in mind is add smoothly. At the end of the day, summarize. Example, first of all, I understand the pressure you're feeling. What I'm trying to say is you don't have to rush. Another thing to keep in mind is that opportunities come and go, but your well-being matters. At the end of the day, choose what makes sense for long-term happiness. Segment 25. Advanced vocabulary for complex topics. Everyday adult conversations often use resilience, bounce back. Boundaries, personal limits. Balance, healthy time/energy distribution. Fulfillment, deep satisfaction. Burnout, mental/emotional exhaustion. Priorities, what matters most. Insight, deep understanding. Perspective, how you see something. Commitment, dedication. Uncertainty, not knowing what will happen. These words appear constantly in discussions about life, work, and relationships. Segment 26. Setting personal boundaries. Boundaries are essential in adult communication. Example, Person A. I'm exhausted. People keep asking for help, and I feel guilty saying no. Person B. I've been there. What are you comfortable with? Person A. I don't mind helping, but I don't want to feel obligated all the time. Person B, then say, I'd love to help, but I'm at capacity right now. Phrases like, I'm at capacity, or I don't want to feel obligated are advanced, emotional, and polite, authentic modern English. Segment 27. Summarizing complex ideas. Native speakers summarize naturally. So basically, in other words, the main idea is, long story short, to put it simply. For example, so basically, the issue isn't the workload, it's the lack of clarity around expectations. In other words, you're feeling unappreciated, not overwhelmed. Summarizing shows comprehension and is a hallmark of C1 mastery. Segment 28. Dealing with personal doubt. Adults often struggle with self-doubt, especially during transitions. Person A. Lately, I've been doubting myself more than usual. I keep wondering if I'm really good enough. Person B. Everyone goes through that. What triggered it? Segment 28 continued. Dealing with self-doubt. Person A. It's a mix of things. I messed up a project at work and started comparing myself to others. Person B. That happens. One mistake doesn't define you. You're allowed to have off days. Person A. I know. I just wish I could shake this feeling. Person B. You will. Sometimes you just need to step back to see the full picture. Notice expressions. More than usual, a mix of things, off days, shake this feeling, see the full picture, all natural, emotionally intelligent English. Segment 29. Multi-layered conversations. At C1, conversations often have multiple layers: the surface message, emotional tone, and unspoken meaning. Example, two coworkers discussing a delayed project. Person A, hey, I wanted to check in about the project timeline. We're falling behind a little. Person B, yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Things got overwhelming on my end. Person A, I figured something was up. Anything I can help with? Person B, maybe. I don't want to drop the ball again. I've been juggling too many things. Person A, totally understand. Why don't we split the tasks again? Prioritize what needs attention first. Person B, that would help a lot. Thanks for stepping in. Notice phrases like dropped the ball, juggling too many things, stepping in, I figured something was up. They create a supportive, professional tone. Segment 30. Natural connectors. C1 speakers use connectors to make speech fluid. To be honest, on top of that said, even so, at the same time, in contrast, on the other hand, for the most part, to some extent. Example, I like working remotely. It gives me freedom. That said, I do miss face-to-face interaction. Sometimes the job is stressful, but at the same time, it's incredibly rewarding. Connectors help structure thoughts and make speech sound mature. Segment 31. Dealing with conflict. Advanced speakers handle conflict calmly and respectfully. Phrases. I want to make sure we're on the same page. I feel like there might have been a misunderstanding. I see your point, but here's where I'm coming from. Let's talk through this calmly. From my perspective, I'd appreciate it if we could revisit this later. Let's try to find a middle ground. Example, Person A, I felt blindsided during yesterday's meeting. I didn't know the plan had changed. Person B, I apologize. There was a last-minute update. Person A, I just want to make sure we're on the same page moving forward. Person B, absolutely. I'll keep you updated next time. Conflict resolved with clear, professional, and emotionally intelligent language. Segment 32. Advanced vocabulary for personal reflection. C1 speakers reflect using sophisticated words. Accountability, authenticity, growth, intention, patterns, reflection, awareness. Example, I'm trying to be more aware of my patterns lately. I realized I tend to take on too much because I hate disappointing people. I'm focusing on growth and being more authentic with my decisions. These words help express deep thoughts clearly and naturally. Segment 33. Relationships and expectations. Example, Person A, I really like him, but I'm not sure we're on the same wavelength sometimes. Person B, what makes you think that? Person A, he avoids deeper conversations. I need clarity about where things are going. Person B, have you tried bringing it up gently? Person A, I did. He's taking things slow because he doesn't want to rush another commitment. Person B, that's understandable. Everyone moves at their own pace. You just need to know whether his pace works for you. Key phrases: on the same wavelength, bring it up gently, taking things slow, everyone moves at their own pace. Very natural in English-speaking culture. Segment 34. Listening for motivation. People often reveal motivation indirectly. Examples: I'll think about it, needs time, unsure. Let me get back to you, need space, more info. I'm not sure that's the best idea, politely saying no. Do you mind if we talk later? Overwhelmed, emotionally tired. Example, Person A, are you coming to the party on Saturday? Person B, I'll see how I'm feeling. Probably not. C1 listening involves understanding hidden intentions and subtle cues. Segment 35. Expanding ideas. Native speakers expand ideas naturally. To be more specific, what I mean is, let me give you an example. Another thing worth mentioning is, example, I've been overwhelmed lately. To be more specific, work has been draining my energy more than usual. These starters make speech clear, structured, and fluent. Segment 36. Dealing with change. Example, Person A, I've been struggling with change lately. Everything feels unpredictable. Person B, I get you. Change is uncomfortable, even when necessary. Person A, I wish I felt more grounded. Person B, that's normal. Maybe you just need time to adjust. Person A, yeah, I'm trying to keep things in perspective. Key phrases: struggling with change, feels unpredictable, more grounded, need time to adjust, keep things in perspective, mature, natural, fluent language. Segment 37. The language of adult responsibility. C1 English often involves subtle discussion of responsibility, obligations, and commitments, reflecting emotional intelligence and maturity. Segment 38. Advanced professional communication. Native speakers handle work communication confidently. Useful expressions. Clarifying, just to make sure I understand. So, what you're saying is, do you mean that? Politely pushing back. I see your point, but I have a slightly different take. I'm not entirely convinced yet. Could we revisit this? Showing initiative. I can take the lead on that. I'll look into it and keep you posted. Let me gather more information. Managing expectations. I might need a bit more time. This could take longer than expected. Example, Person A, do you think you can finish the report today? Person B, I'll do my best, but it might take longer than expected. Just to make sure I understand, you want the updated data included too, right? Person A, yes, please. Person B, got it. I'll work on it now and keep you posted. Clear, responsible, professional English at its best. Segment 39. Advanced emotional intelligence. Express empathy naturally without sounding forced. Expressions. That sounds incredibly frustrating. I can imagine that wasn't easy. You handled that really well. I'd feel the same way if I were in your position. Thanks for sharing that with me. It makes sense that you feel that way. Example, Person A, I really messed up in today's presentation. My mind went blank. Person B, that sounds stressful. I can imagine it wasn't easy. But honestly, you handled it better than you think. Everyone freezes sometimes. Advanced emotional communication, natural, calm, relatable. Segment 40. Everyday advanced expressions. Native speakers rely on short, natural phrases. For what it's worth. To be fair. As far as I can tell. At this point. If anything. It wouldn't hurt to. Come to think of it. Now that you mention it. I've been meaning to. Example. Person A, I'm wondering whether I should take a short break from work. Person B, for what it's worth, I think it wouldn't hurt to take a few days off. You've been pushing yourself hard. Segment 41. Dealing with uncertain future plans. Realistic conversation about uncertainty. Person A, I'm not sure what the next year is going to look like. Everything feels unpredictable. Person B, I hear you. A lot of people feel that way right now. Person A, I used to have everything planned out. Now it feels like I'm just trying to stay afloat. Person B, that's understandable. Maybe focus on short-term goals instead of planning the whole year. Person A, yeah, that sounds more manageable. Key expressions. Trying to stay afloat, feels unpredictable. Focus on short-term goals, more manageable, I hear you. Segment 42. Expressing personal values. Talking about beliefs and priorities. It's important to me that I value. I'm not willing to compromise on. I prioritize. I try to stay true to. I believe in. Example. It's important to me that I have a good work-life balance. I'm not willing to compromise on my mental health. Clear, honest, emotionally mature English. Segment 43. Advanced listening. Tone matters. At C1, how something is said is often more important than what is said. Example. I'm fine. Calm, truly fine. Sharp, frustrated. Tired, emotionally drained. Soft, disappointed but accepting. Notice pitch, pauses, hesitation, sarcasm, tension. This reveals real emotions beyond words. Example. Person A, I'm wondering whether I should take a short break from work. Person B, for what it's worth, I think it wouldn't hurt to take a few days off. You've been pushing yourself hard. Segment 41. Dealing with uncertain future plans. Realistic conversation about uncertainty. Person A, I'm not sure what the next year is going to look like. Everything feels unpredictable. Person B, I hear you. A lot of people feel that way right now. Person A, I used to have everything planned out. Now it feels like I'm just trying to stay afloat. Person B, that's understandable. Maybe focus on short-term goals instead of planning the whole year. Person A, yeah, that sounds more manageable. Key expressions. Trying to stay afloat, feels unpredictable. Focus on short-term goals, more manageable, I hear you. Segment 42. Expressing personal values. Talking about beliefs and priorities. It's important to me that I value. I'm not willing to compromise on. I prioritize. I try to stay true to. I believe in. Example. It's important to me that I have a good work-life balance. I'm not willing to compromise on my mental health. Clear, honest, emotionally mature English. Segment 43. Advanced listening. Tone matters. At C1, how something is said is often more important than what is said. Example. I'm fine. Calm, truly fine. Sharp, frustrated. Tired, emotionally drained. Soft, disappointed but accepting. Notice pitch, pauses, hesitation, sarcasm, tension. This reveals real emotions beyond words. Segment 44. Storytelling. Moving to a new city. Narrative example. When I first moved to the city, I felt completely out of place. Everything moved faster than I expected. People seemed busy, rushing everywhere. But after a few weeks, I found little pockets of familiarity. My favorite cafe, a quiet park bench, a smiling cashier. Those tiny moments made the transition easier and reminded me that even in a city full of strangers, you can build a life that feels like your own. Natural C1 storytelling. Descriptive, reflective, emotional, relatable. Segment 45. Reflective language for growth. High-level expressions for thinking deeply about life. I've been reflecting on. I've realized that. It made me question. It opened my eyes to. It shifted my perspective. It pushed me to rethink my priorities. I've become more aware of it. It put things into perspective. Example, I've been reflecting on my routines lately. I realized I've been running on autopilot, doing things without questioning whether they still serve me. It pushed me to rethink my priorities and focus on habits that support the person I want to become. Language used in TED Talks, podcasts, coaching sessions, thoughtful, C1 level reflection. Segment 46, Work-Life Balance. Example conversation. Person A, I've been feeling burnout lately. I'm working constantly, but it doesn't feel sustainable. Person B, that's tough. Have you had any downtime at all? Person A, not really. Every time I try to relax, something else comes up. Person B, yeah, that's a sign you need better boundaries. If you're always on, you're going to crash eventually. Person A, I know. I just don't want to fall behind. Person B, taking care of yourself isn't falling behind. It's resetting. Phrases like burnout, not sustainable, downtime, better boundaries, crash eventually, resetting make adult English practical, empathetic, and natural. Segment 47, Advanced Vocabulary, Internal States. Words that describe your thoughts, motivations, fears, habits, and identity. Clarity, understanding something clearly. Overwhelm, emotional overload. Alignment, when actions match values. Resistance, mental pushback. Breakthrough, sudden progress. Underlying, hidden but important narrative. Patterns, repeating behaviors. Momentum, forward movement. Introspection, deep self-reflection. Example, I realized the stress I was feeling wasn't just about work. The underlying issue was that my routine wasn't in alignment with my personal values. Once I understood that, everything became clearer. Segment 48, Navigating Uncertain Feelings. Key emotional expressions. Everything feels heavy. I don't feel like myself. Lost momentum. Time to reset. Haven't slowed down in months. Example, Person A, I can't tell if I'm genuinely unhappy or just exhausted. Everything feels heavy lately. Person B, that's a tough place to be. Do you think it's the situation or your energy levels? Segment 49, Handling Vague Answers. English speakers often avoid direct statements. Soft hints reveal meaning. We'll see unsure, probably no. It's not ideal, unhappy, polite. It could be better, disappointed or frustrated. I'll try, may not do it. It's manageable, stressed, but coping. That's one way to look at it, polite disagreement. Example, Person A, how's the new schedule working out? Person B, it's manageable. Meaning, I don't like it. Segment 50, Language of Modern Relationships. Common natural phrases. We're taking things slow. We're still figuring things out. It's complicated. We haven't labeled it yet. We're on the same page emotionally. We're in different places right now. We want different things long term. Example, Person B, I think we're taking things slow. We haven't labeled anything yet, but emotionally we're on the same page. Segment 51, Navigating Mixed Signals. C1 speakers notice subtle cues in relationships. Super responsive. Come across as needy. Asking for clarity. Where things stand. Be straightforward. Example, Person A, I can't tell what she wants. One day she's super responsive, the next she's distant. Person B, you deserve to know where things stand. There's nothing wrong with asking for clarity. Segment 52, Starting Over, Reflective Narrative. Expressing growth and change naturally. Period where nothing feels familiar. Signals growth. Stepping into something. Your new normal. Example, starting over at any stage feels uncomfortable. but that discomfort often signals growth. With time, what once felt overwhelming becomes your new normal. Segment 53. Asking for support naturally. Soft ways to request help. Do you have a minute? Could I get your perspective? Mind if I run something by you? I'd appreciate your input. I could use some advice. Example, Person A, mind if I run something by you? I'm debating whether to accept this opportunity. Person B, sure, go ahead. What's on your mind? Segment 54. Dealing with pressure. Talking about stress and expectations. Keeping it together. A heavy load to carry. Pressure I put on myself. Biggest critics. Example, Person A, everyone expects me to have everything figured out, and I'm barely keeping it together. Person B, that's a heavy load to carry. Sometimes we're our own biggest critics. Segment 55. The language of letting go. Expressing acceptance and emotional release. I'm learning to let go of things I can't control. I'm trying to accept the situation for what it is. I'm choosing not to hold on anymore. I can't fix everything. I'm giving myself permission to move on. It's time to release that pressure. Example, I'm learning to let go of unrealistic expectations. For the longest time, I thought I had to do everything perfectly. Now I'm trying to accept that progress matters more than perfection. Segment 56. Identifying hesitation. Advanced listeners notice. Soft fillers. Pauses before giving opinions. Restarting sentences. Softening expressions. Kind of, sort of, a bit, not exactly. Fragmented speech. Example, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. It's kind of complicated. Part of me thinks it could work, but another part isn't convinced. White heavy checkmark takeaways for C1 Fluency. Recognize emotional and subtle meaning in speech. Use soft, reflective, and natural expressions for stress, uncertainty, relationships, and self-reflection. Integrate advanced vocabulary into daily conversation to express internal states, growth, and personal values. Listening deeply includes tone, hesitation, and implied meaning, not just words. Segment 57. Making peace with difficult moments. Expressions for acceptance, closure, and healing. It is what it is. I've made peace with it. I'm trying to trust the timing. I'm taking it one day at a time. I've reached a point where I'm ready to move forward. Some things take time. Example reflection. I've reached a point where I'm not trying to force anything anymore. I'm taking things one day at a time and trusting that what's meant for me won't pass me by. Segment 58. Friend disagreement. Polite ways to handle minor conflicts in friendships. Last minute. Things come up. I didn't handle that well. It threw off my plans. Be more mindful next time. Example dialogue. Person A, I didn't expect you to cancel last minute. I wish you had told me earlier. Person B, you're right. I should have messaged sooner. I didn't handle that well. I'll be more mindful next time. Segment 59. Advanced persuasion and soft influence. Phrases to suggest without pushing. Have you considered? One thing that might help is, you might find it useful too. What if you tried? I'm not saying you should, but... Example, Person A, I feel stuck with my routine. I want to change it, but I never follow through. Person B, one thing that might help is starting small. What if you tried adjusting just one habit at a time? You might find it easier to maintain. Segment 60. Fear of making the wrong choice. Advanced reflection on decision-making and risk. Take a leap. Terrified of making the wrong choice. Overthink everything. Felt paralyzed. Not choosing is also a choice. Keep moving forward. Example reflection. For a long time, I was terrified of making the wrong choice. I'd overthink everything until I felt paralyzed. Eventually, I realized not choosing is also a choice, and the only way to know is to try, fail, adjust, and keep moving forward. Segment 61. Expressing limits with confidence. Phrases for setting boundaries politely but firmly. I don't have the capacity for that right now. I wish I could help, but I'm fully booked. I need to set a boundary here. That doesn't work for me. I can't commit at the moment. I need to protect my time. Example dialogue. Person A, can you take on another project this week? Person B, I'd love to help, but I don't have the capacity for that right now. Segment 62. Recognizing relief. Indirect ways to express relief. Thank goodness. That's a weight off my shoulders. I can finally breathe. I feel so much lighter now. I was so worried. That makes things so much easier. Example. Person A, the results came back normal. Person B, oh, thank goodness. I feel so much lighter now. Segment 63. Change in relationships. Talking about growth, lifestyle differences, and emotional honesty. Grown in different directions. People evolve. Lifestyle differences. Be honest with myself. Still works long term. Example dialogue. Person A, I feel like we've grown in different directions. I still care about him, but we're not the same people we were. Person B, that happens. People evolve. What feels different? Segment 64. Navigating complex emotions. Words/phrases for layered feelings. Ambivalence, feeling two things at once. Uncertainty, not sure what will happen. Vulnerability, openness to emotional risk. Detachment, emotional distance. Reassurance, comfort given by someone conflicted. Torn between two feelings. Internal struggle, battle within yourself. Emotional clarity, finally understanding your feelings. Example, I've been feeling really conflicted lately. Part of me wants to stay, but another part needs more emotional clarity. Segment 65. Navigating different expectations. Discussing misaligned expectations in relationships. Going in circles. Different emotional languages. Talking about expectations directly. Misaligned expectations tension. Example dialogue. Person A, we keep having the same argument. I expect one thing, he expects another, and we end up going in circles. Person B, have you tried talking about your expectations directly? White heavy checkmark. Key takeaways, segments 57 to 65. C1 level English is emotionally intelligent, reflective, and nuanced. Use soft expressions to handle conflict, uncertainty, or persuasion. Recognize indirect emotional cues, relief, hesitation, ambivalence. Mature conversations involve values, boundaries, and honest self-reflection. Layered listening includes surface meaning, emotion, and unspoken intent. Segment 66. Personal setback. Handling disappointment and turning it into growth. Key phrases. Gave it my all. Felt defeated. Sitting with the disappointment. Gained clarity. More motivated than ever. Example reflection. Last month, I applied for a position I really wanted. I went through every interview and felt like I gave it my all. At first, I felt defeated, but after sitting with the disappointment, I gained clarity and now I'm more motivated than ever. Segment 67. Recognizing gentle advice. Soft, indirect guidance in English. Key phrases. Maybe try. You might find it helpful too. It could be worth considering. Just something to think about. No pressure. Example dialogue. Person A, I don't know how to start rebuilding my routine. Person B, no pressure, but it could be worth considering a small morning habit just to give your day some structure. Segment 68. Reflecting on uncertainty. Expressing reflective thoughts in uncertain moments. Key phrases. Life doesn't always move in a straight line. Feel ready to move again. Still paying attention. Still growing. Not always obvious at first glance. Example reflection. Sometimes you pause in the same place for weeks before you feel ready to move again. What matters is that you're still paying attention and still growing, even if it's not always obvious at first glance. Segment 69. Expressing gratitude. Warm, sincere, and subtle gratitude at C1. Key phrases. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thanks for being there for me. I don't take that for granted. I genuinely value your support. I'm grateful for you. Example dialogue. Person A. Thanks for listening. I really needed to get that off my chest. Person B. Of course. I'm always here for you, and I'm glad you felt comfortable sharing that. Segment 70. Accepting imperfection. Reflective language for life's unpredictability. Key phrases. Accept that. Everything becomes lighter. Stop forcing things. Allow life to unfold. Example reflection. Life is unpredictable and perfection is impossible. Once you accept that, everything becomes lighter. You stop forcing things and allow life to unfold naturally. Segment 71. Final advanced dialogue. Finding balance. Expressing adult life balance and priorities. Key phrases. Out of sync. Threw things off. That'll do it. Focus on what actually matters. Example dialogue. Person A. I'm trying to find balance again. My life feels out of sync. Person B. I get that feeling. What threw things off? Person A. Stress, lack of rest, trying to please everyone. Person B. That'll do it. Maybe it's time to simplify and focus on what actually matters. Segment 72. Closing reflection. C1 mindset. Core C1 takeaway. C1 is not about perfect English. It's about authentic, thoughtful, confident communication. Understand nuance, subtext, and emotional depth. Fluency grows through consistent practice, listening, reflection, and showing up for yourself. Final message example. Keep practicing, keep listening, keep reflecting, and most importantly, keep enjoying the process. Fluency grows in the small moments you show up for yourself. White heavy checkmark takeaways for segments 66 to 72. Learn to handle setbacks, uncertainty, and emotional complexity naturally. Use soft, reflective, and emotionally intelligent expressions. Express gratitude, accept imperfection, and set priorities without guilt. Recognize that C1 fluency equals thoughtful, authentic communication, not just perfect grammar.